Hi, my name is JD and today we're going to be checking out the Synergy system. I've got the syn1, which is the one module unit. They do a syn2, which is a 2 rack space. I think they're coming out with a syn4 in April, but don't hold me to that. And they do a syn30, which has a 30 watt power amp inside valve. And they do a syn50, which is I think 2 6L6s, which is a 50 watt power amp. So I'm not going to go through all the basics of everything on this system, just because it's been covered in other videos. But little bit of history. They're based off the Randall MTS system, I think, which was designed by Bruce Egnater. I don't know if he's still involved in it or if he's still doing it, but I know Stephen Fryhead does a lot of the Synergy stuff. But anyway, they are basically just the preamp section of amps. So the one I've got now is a diezel Herbert, which is actually made by Diezel, so it's not like it's a fake preamp, it's actually made by the company, so you would expect it to be quite close approximation to what the amp sounds like. But it's basically the preamp section of the amps. The syn1 has a built-in, I think it has a single 12AX7, and the modules come with two 12AX7s, or they might be different, but anyway, it comes with two preamp valves. So in total there's 3. Now I don't really know how it all works with phase inverters and all that crap, but all you really need to know is that it's supposedly the real deal. So this is the diezel Herbert. It's got 2 channels, the Shure EQ, and you've got 2 gains, your bass, middle, treble. You've got a mid cut for the blue channel, which is what it's on at the moment, and a mid cut for the red. Now I think that's what was on the main amp, the real Herbert, the mid cut. I think that's what it was known for, but I could be wrong. You've got a volume and a sag button, and then obviously you've got your bypass, which bypasses, and you've got your channel switching, which channel switches. So let's get to doing some sounds. So I'll do a 1 minute track just so you can hear what it sounds like with some drums. I will be using the Wash, is it the Wash? No, the Solar. Yeah, the Solar. This one. I don't fucking remember the name of it. I'll be using this Solar guitar, which is tuned to drop C for the song, and then I'm going to come back and we'll use this for starting off. So this is what it sounds like. Right now that's out of the way, what we're going to do is go through some of the sounds with this LTD JM2, which has got the Monty's Bethnal Green pickups in. This is tuned to E or E flat, and basically for that song and for this I'm going through the Fryhead power station, so I'm going into the lining of this, so I'm just using it as a power amp. And it's, well, I don't think it's actually attenuating anything, but it's going to a real cab. It's going to the Sloan 1x12 with a Celestine green back on it, and I'm using the SM57 and the SE Electronics VR1, which I basically use for all my videos. So all its difference is, instead of going out of the the speaker out on the amp, because this doesn't have a speaker out. I'm sending it line level going into the Friat power station. You can use Class D power amps, or you can actually go straight into the audio interface and use something like a 2-notes torpedo and put IRs on it, or power amp simulation as well. So you could use it that way, but for this I'm just going to go through what I normally sound like, just to keep it all the same. So Boss noise suppressor's on, and that's it. So this is what it sounds like. So most of these modules, I think, have 2 channels. This one's got 2 channels. Now, I don't think you're going to get a clean on it. I mean, I'll try and turn the gain down. Not very clean, but I don't think that's the idea of this. They probably could have had the clean, but then you're going to have separate modules. You'd have a diezel herbert with the clean and maybe a blue channel, and then maybe have the higher gain section of the blue and then the red channel. You end up with 2 modules. I don't think there's any point in that, because the other modules, like the Morgan AC, and I think they do a Fender Deluxe, not an actual Fender one, that though. But you may as well just get your cleans from them. So I haven't got any of them modules yet, but I will be buying some in the future. I want to check out the AC Morgan and stuff like that. And I think they do like a Dumble one, which is I think it's a Synergy OS. So I just get one of them to be cleaned. So anyway, put that back to 12. Right, enough of that, let's do some high gain stuff. So I'm just going to put the gain at 3 o'clock. So it doesn't sound amazing at the moment, so let's see what this mid-cut does. Comes to mids. I like mids, so we'll put that back. Alright, so let's... Ooh, that's a lot of bass. Some mids. Treble. Right. I think when I did the video, the song, I had them roughly like this. So as it stands, that's not a lot of gain. Put it on the full. So it's not the best sound in the world. Does it sound like a diezel? I have no idea. But it does come to life when obviously you add the boost, which is the KHD Goose Screamer. I always use a boost with most of my amps. Now I've got the 2C Plus module there, and I think that's probably the only one that I don't think needs a boost. It just sounds a lot better without the boost. But I'm not going to go through that in this video. This one's just mainly about the diezel module and obviously the actual using the Synergy system as a whole. So now I've engaged the KHDK Ghoul Screamer. I'll put the settings on screen, and this is what it sounds like. I mean, it sounds really, really good. It feels amp-like, it sounds amp-like. Sounding good to me. So So, using the Freyet power station, I've got a presence and depth. Now, the way I'm using it, the Freyet power station is very neutral sounding power amp. It doesn't really colour the sound. So, if you've got a preamp and a very neutral power amp, it can sound quite a bit lifeless or a bit sterile, should we say, because typically in a normal amp, you have the power amp connected to the preamp section, and it's matched for that preamp section. So obviously you've got Marshalls with the EL34 power valves, and it's all symbiotic, is that the word? It's all a synergy of systems, but this is separate. Now the good thing about it, I mean, they used to do this back in the day with rack stuff and all this, is you could separate it, you can get different power amps. The VHT do like a 290 or something. There's the Marshall, I don't even know what it's called, 292 or something, or is that the Messer? Anyway, there's loads of different power amps that you can get. Valve and Class D solid state, you can get the Seymour Duncan one. But anyway, the power station that I'm using is quite a neutral sounding, so I have actually been using the, let's get it here. Oh, it's plugged in. It's not plugged into the system, it's just plugged in. So I've been using these are fancy Germans. This Amp Tweaker Depth Finder, one of the best pedals you'll ever buy. From what I understand, it's the depth and presence, resonance and presence from a PV5150, and this just gives it a bit more depth and presence, and it's a bit more life to it. But I've not been using that, and I didn't use it in the sounds, so I'm going to use it on the Freyet power station. I'm just going to turn the depth all the way up, so you can hear what it sounds like, what it does to the sound. So that's all the way up. That's all the way down. I'll do the same with the presence. Might get a bit ice picky this. It's all the way up. Fucking hell, that's ice picky. And all the way down. It doesn't sound too bad there, but basically on the Freyet power station, I think the depth and the presence, they're a lot less, what's the word, they don't move as much as on the depth finder. The depth finder, if you move it ever so slightly, it adds a fuck ton of low end. Whereas this power station, it's just designed, I think, for when you're attenuating, to just compensate for the lack of oomph once you attenuate the actual amp. You've got a 100 watt amp, you scale it down, you're going to lose some of that oomph, that balls. So this just basically compensates for it. But anyway, I'm chatting shit again. Sorry, I do apologise. But anyway, it can affect the overall tone of the whole system. So if you're thinking, oh, it sounds alright, but it's a bit sterile, you can, like I said, bump that depth up. Get it sounding a bit better. This syn1 has a side button. I'll just play with this so you can hear what it sounds like. Doesn't really do much on this. I think it just adds some sponginess and some compression to the sound. I don't really use it. If I do use it, I just have it on ever so slightly. Right, so let's move over to the second channel. Kind of just, I think it's just the same but got a bit more gain and I think it's a bit more scoot. I'd have to check on what the actual Herbert, the red channel does on the Herbert, or the Herbert should I say. It just seems like it's got a bit more gain and it's a bit more scoot, but it sounds good. But personally, I think the blue channel's better. Jumps out of tune there. Right, let's see what it sounds like. Sorry about the sound. With the Fishman's, I think this is tuned to E. Yeah, this is tuned to E standard. So Fishman Fluence, and it's in the pushed setting, so it's the high gain active sound. Pushed, pulled out. Definitely has a lot more bass there. It sounds good, and who says pickups don't make a difference, eh? Right, I'm not going to mess with too much with the settings just because I think with most amps, once you find a sweet spot, let's just try that mid-cut switch. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the mid cuts because I do like a lot of mids in my sound, and I think that personally I prefer the blue channel. I think it just, I don't like that much gain. I don't think you need that much gain, especially when you're recording in the room. Yeah, I mean in the room, the red. It sounds good, I'm not saying it sounds shit, but I think personally for me, for what I like, the blue sounds a lot better. Yeah, so what are we on now? 21 minutes. It's been way too long, this video again. I think it's just getting longer and longer because I just like playing riffs. But so far, the synergy system, I think it sounds really good. And anyone who says it doesn't is a liar. Obviously, the different modules are going to make a difference. Now, personally, I've got the diezel herbert, and I've got the 2C Plus, and I've got the Friedman BE. Now, I don't know if you can tell from all my other amps, I'm a Marshall guy. So, the diezel is actually probably one of my least favourite, and it's not because it sounds bad, it's just, I just don't think I would like the Herbert amp anyway. Not that I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't, if I'd have spent £2,000 on it, and I just think I like Marshall stuff. So it's going to be interesting. I think they do an 800 module, and the Friedman module I've got sounds unbelievable. That'll be for another video. But as far as this goes, if you've got it, the synergy system, I think it's a great system. I could easily record with this sound. I mean, it just sounds like an amp. It is an amp. But anyway, yeah, so my overall thoughts are, I think once you invest in this, I think in the UK it's 550 quid. And then the modules, I actually got the module cheap from Anderson's, it was on a deal, so it was only 250 quid. Well, for 250 quid, have I got a diezel Herbert? No, but I've got a very good amp. There will be more videos coming on this because I'm going to keep the synergy system. And I'm going to try and get some more modules. But yeah, if you want just a little, you don't want to go down the digital route, you want some really good sounding preamps, check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.